With an update on the contractual status of a star and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. As Goldberg recently said that AEW is too cheesy for him to be a part of and that he has put his retirement run on the back burner, Dave Meltzer commented on his reluctance to join AEW and gave a reason for it, saying on Wrestling Observer Radio, "Bill's asking price is really high. It's always been that. I haven't heard any details on either side, if it was a money thing or if he didn't like the product." Speaking about a potential return to WWE down the line, Rob Van Dam, who has been appearing in AEW, noted on his one-of-a-kind podcast, "I would totally be open to it, don't know what it would take for that to happen. It's possible that it would take me picking up the phone and telling them that I want to do this in order to start the fire. If that's what it would take, chances are next to nothing that it's gonna happen." Van Dam then recalled his previous run with WWE in 2014, saying, "In 2014, after my 88 match run in 5 months, I shouldn't have been there. They had nothing for me at the end of it when I finally did express my feelings. One of the things that stuck out in my mind was that the boss said, 'That's up to you if you want to come back. If you do, then we'll make sure to have plans ahead of time. We'll know what we're doing the whole time.'" Reacting to Becky Lynch winning the Battle Royal on Raw to become the Women's World Champion, the woman who recently vacated the title and is out of action with an injury now, Rhea Ripley wrote this on X, "The forever runner-up and the interim champ. Expressing his frustration with those in the media disrespecting pro wrestling, Grayson Waller told Going Ringside, "I appreciate when there's genuine effort put into the interview. It's evident when the host has done their homework, knows some background about me, and we can have a meaningful conversation. However, there are instances where it's clear the interviewer is simply going through the motions, armed with generic questions handed to them by their producer. When this lack of preparation crosses into disrespect, I have no qualms addressing it. Jokes at the expense of wrestling or its athletes belong to a bygone era. We're legitimate athletes, and anyone who stepped into the ring can attest to that, especially athletes from other disciplines." Giving his thoughts on Will Ospreay taking a shot at Triple H, who he felt was targeting him with a comment made about picking a job in pro wrestling where they work less and are not in it for the grind, Booker T said on his Hall of Fame podcast, "The stuff with Will Ospreay, he's a young guy, we've interviewed him, he seems like a really good dude. I don't know if he's playing into the AEW antics and wanting to get a little piece of the action and feels like it's a buzz around my name for a comment like that. I think that comment is going to come back to hurt him more than help him. I know wrestling in that bubble, it feels like the greatest thing in the world until you get out of that bubble and see, man, what the hell is this? This is something totally different. I say that because when I worked in WCW was huge. We were doing house shows with 20,000 people. I understand the position Will Ospreay is in, making good money too. I was making damn good money in WCW. When I came to WWE, it was a totally different ballgame. It was a machine like I hadn't seen before. The money was guaranteed, not just guaranteed, but the money I could make on top of that was astronomical. When I look at Will Ospreay, who is probably getting paid a nice grip in AEW, or one would expect, but I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about tomorrow when this thing is over with. I'm talking about your legacy and how people are going to look at you and praise you when this thing is over with. I don't see AEW doing any of that from a merchandise perspective. None of that is popping from an AEW perspective. Personally, I always want to stay above or away from anything the company was doing, especially if they were going back and forth with the other company, just because I might be working for that company one day. I have no dog in that fight. That's why I'm shocked by Will Ospreay and what he said. It was nonsensical. It didn't even have a place. I don't know what the conversation he had with Triple H. The world doesn't know the conversation he had with Triple H. That's a conversation that should have been between him and Triple H. It sounds pretty simple. What we're looking for is guys that are going to go out there and grind. Guys that are going to look at work. This is a no days off business. If that's what the conversation was and you're upset about him saying we're looking for grinders, okay, cool, I appreciate it, but I'm going to go over here where I don't really have to grind that hard and get that check. That seems like it would be it. For him to make that comment, it definitely put him in a position where I would not want to be Will Ospreay when my contract came up or if things went right in AEW because his options are going to be limited. Maybe Tony Khan will pay him enough to retire. For a health update on Drew McIntyre, Ringside News noted that according to recent reports, McIntyre has been persevering through a badly hyperextended elbow during the recent WWE tour. Further details on McIntyre's condition were provided by Dave Meltzer during Wrestling Observer Radio, where he confirmed he's hurting hyperextended elbow, badly hyperextended elbow. Speculation suggests that McIntyre sustained the injury during his match against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40 on April 7th, 2024. The bout saw McIntyre clinch the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, only to drop the title to Damian Priest shortly afterward due to a Money in the Bank cash-in. WebMD explains that a hyperextended elbow occurs when one of the elbow joints bends backward beyond its normal range of motion. Following WrestleMania 40, McIntyre participated in a fatal four-way match to determine the WWE World Heavyweight Championship #1 contender, which was won by Jey Uso on the April 8th episode of Raw. During the recent WWE Live Tour in the United Kingdom, McIntyre squared off against Jey Uso across 4 nights, with matches held in Birmingham, Cardiff, London, and Belfast. Despite his injury, McIntyre continued to deliver performances for the WWE Universe. Previously, former WWE star Jinder Mahal had gotten into a back and forth online with AEW president Tony Khan. He talked about it during an interview with Chris Van Vliet, saying, "Drew had texted me. I got a bunch of texts in a row. I was like, what? I've got to see this." And then I opened up Twitter and that's what I saw. Thank you, Tony. You made that match with Seth more interesting. People actually thought I was going to win it just to spite Tony. I was surprised. Everybody stuck up for me. That's never happened before. In an update on the status of Stardom, Ringside News wrote that NJPW and Stardom Wrestling have announced a strategic partnership aimed at enhancing operational efficiency and collaboration between the two promotions. The agreement, revealed on Tuesday, outlines that Stardom will transition into a fully owned subsidiary of NJPW effective June 28th, 2024. Both entities fall under the umbrella of Bushiroad Fight, which acquired Stardom in 2019. NJPW's official website, njpw1972.com, released a statement detailing the acquisition. NJPW to fully acquire Bushiroad Fight. During a board of directors meeting on April 22nd, it was decided that NJPW will fully acquire all stakes in Bushiroad Fight Co., hereafter referred to as Bushiroad Fight, set to be renamed Stardom Co. from June 28th from parent company Bushiroad Inc. With this acquisition, Bushiroad Fight will become a fully owned subsidiary of New Japan Pro Wrestling effective June 28th. Goal of acquisition: to enhance operational efficiency and streamline processes within Bushiroad Sports Unit. Transfer of stock date Friday, June 28th. Bushiroad Fight President/CEO Teruo Okada expressed enthusiasm for the strengthened ties between NJPW and Stardom, highlighting past collaborative efforts and expressing optimism for future endeavors. NJPW President/CEO Hiroshi Tanahashi echoed this sentiment, emphasizing the potential growth between the two promotions. "Our fans have seen a lot of crossover between NJPW and Stardom with our co-promoted event, as well as the IWGP and Strong Women's titles. But there is still a lot that can be done to strengthen connections between our companies behind the scenes, from arranging event schedules and building reservations to make sure fans have time to take in big matches from both companies, to improving our promotional efforts and sponsor acquisitions. I'm excited at the opportunity to further both NJPW and Stardom's appeal to a broader audience. This acquisition will speed up decision-making processes and improve our operating efficiency, freeing both companies up to further professional wrestling in the eyes and hearts of fans in Japan and worldwide. I look forward to fans' continued support of both NJPW and Stardom. The acquisition aims to accelerate decision-making processes, improve operational efficiency, and ultimately elevate the appeal of both NJPW and Stardom to a wider audience, both domestically and internationally. Fans are encouraged to continue supporting both promotions as they embark on this new chapter of collaboration and innovation in Japanese professional wrestling. Responding to the idea of Vince McMahon ruining the pro wrestling industry, Dutch Mantell stated on his Storytime podcast, "Hell no, he didn't ruin wrestling. It's doing the best now than it's ever done. Who said he ruined wrestling? He didn't ruin it. No, because you can't ruin wrestling. You can't kill it either." At the AEW Dynasty Media Scrum, president of the company, Tony Khan, said this regarding a transition for the promotion to streaming platforms. Well, it's a great question. I think it's something to consider. There are sports that have done that. When you look at different media rights, some people have split among a platform of streaming and linear TV, cable TV. We're going to have a lot of great options. Right now, I think we're in an exclusive negotiating window with Warner Brothers Discovery, which is amazing. We have really an amazing relationship, and I think it's a great thing to have wrestling on TBS and TNT for the fans every week. It's a great American tradition, and I really, really love it. To me, I love being here. I can't wait to keep talking and keep figuring it out, but I think you can count on, in 2025, at a minimum, the opportunity to stream the amazing library that we've built. With hundreds and hundreds of hours, we're going to get this figured out. I know in 2025, we'll have now it's crazy because we're approaching 240 episodes of Dynamite. And we've done over 100 episodes of Rampage. We're coming up on a year of Collision. We've done this amazing library of pay-per-views. And when I've acquired Ring of Honor, that's thousands of hours of great footage, including the Sinclair years, the HDNet years, lots of great pay-per-views, events, the original All In, and we have a great partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they have a great library. There are so many opportunities for not only our own content, but to bring in more. It's going to be really interesting to see in 2025. I think we've shown now with the debut of AEW Dynasty, we've got this amazing track record of delivering on pay-per-view events, so there'll be so much great content. But for the future of Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, I think there's an opportunity to reach fans across multiple platforms, and really, after doing a great show like this and great shows like Revolution and the run we've been on lately, it bodes really well for us having a lot of great options for next year. Asked about MJF's status with AEW, Tony Khan said this at that same media scrum. MJF, one of the biggest stars in AEW. We haven't seen him in recent months. I would love to have him back really soon. We've got so many great things happening, and he is one of our great wrestlers. Everything's going so great for AEW right now. That would be something that would add a lot. I would love to have MJF back. Also, Tony Khan would be asked about Mercedes Moné's in-ring AEW status as he replied, "She'll be cleared at Double or Nothing for the singles match," and that was a big part of this, knowing that it has been a major road for her to return from the injury. Now we know Mercedes will challenge for the TBS title. We do know Mercedes will be out for a full year since she last wrestled, and it will be against Willow, whom she blames for causing the injury, but we know Mercedes will be cleared for in May, just a little over a month at Double or Nothing. In a clip, Drew McIntyre can be seen denying fans at a WWE live event in Belfast, a WrestleMania.
About where could WrestleMania be next, because all of our big PLEs are traveling the world constantly. Everybody just assumes London, but imagine it was somewhere like Belfast. Would you like that? One of the big stadiums, how mental you get in those stadiums, imagine it. Tens of thousands of Irish and the most mental fans across the world come together for WrestleMania. It just so happens I helped Clash of the Castle happen and I've got the right people's ears. And because of y'all tonight, it's never gonna happen, and I'll make sure it doesn't. Screw y'all.
Revealing that he will no longer be using one of his signature moves, Will Ospreay said this at the Dynasty Media Scrum following his match against Bryan Danielson. It seems that Bryan got hurt on the Storm Driver and I didn't see the doctor call, so I want to apologize on that. Obviously, within the confines of wrestling in the ring, it's your life and mine until you see the vice of what you did. I feel awful about this, even though 90% of the time it's been fine. Seeing the damage it has done, I'm gonna retire using the Storm Driver 91. I don't think it's right for me to continue using it after seeing what it did to Bryan, for someone I got huge respect for. So to see the outcome, although I'm happy everyone enjoyed the match, I'm disappointed in myself and I apologize to Bryan, AEW medics, and
get out of the way here.
Sticking with Will Ospreay, at that media scrum, he was asked if his match against Danielson silenced the controversy surrounding his comments on Dynamite, where he responded to Triple H as he said, "Yes, of course, I don't want to address it anymore. I can remember a generation of when I grew up where, like, you throw a jab, I throw one back. Although I wasn't mentioned by name, it was clearly about me. All due respect, I'm kind of done mentioning anyone over there now. I don't want to do that anymore because I feel I lowered myself to that standard. I don't need to do that anymore. Look what I just did in the ring with Bryan. That's only match 2 from pay-per-view. I've got a F-load more to go down. With all due respect, if you take everything into consideration, of course, I'm annoyed about a jab that I took. I threw one back. I don't think it was anything bad. It's a joke from 20 years ago. Don't be too butthurt. That's the first time I've ever experienced true tribalism between the two. It's not nice. It's unnecessary. I'm over it. I can't be bothered with it. I just want to be focused on promoting AEW. I don't regret what I said. You take the entire thing into consideration, it did piss me off, but from this day on, I won't go down that road. I don't need to. I'm the best wrestler in the world. I don't need to F with guys below me." Explaining his absence from AEW, Evil Uno said this on Being the Dark Order. "It's nice to see you. It's been a while. You may not know this, but we haven't been all in the same place in about 6 weeks. I've been stuck in Canada with reapplying with my visa. If you do not know, they're from Long Island. I'm still living in Canada now. I'm now back." For details on a WWE star re-signing with the company, Fightful Select reported that we're told that WWE was looking to sign Balor to a multi-year big money offer. It was expected that he would have major interest outside of the company, and that specifically AEW is looking to sign potential free agents this summer. His name was on their list of talent they were keeping an eye on. Finn Balor even posted this to X. "I would like to take this moment to say thank you to WWE for 10 incredible years, and after much thought and consideration, I've decided that now is the right time to say I ain't going nowhere."
This is Trevor Lee, also known as Cameron Grimes. I just got off the phone with WWE, and unfortunately, I've been released from my contract. 5 years ago, the last thing that I was able to tell my father, Tracy Cadell, was that I signed with the WWE. I loved working here. I loved working at the WWE. I want to thank absolutely everybody that's helped me. I could sit here and name off a list of people, but the video might be a little bit too long. Even though you guys haven't seen me in the past year, I've been trying my best to learn from everybody that comes through, everybody that would let me sit there and listen. But if you're a fan of mine, I'm here to let you know that there's a damn fire lit under my ass, man. All I want to do is work. All I've ever wanted to do is work. This is all I got, man. But hey, the good news is there ain't going to be no stopping Trevor Lee now, baby. Let me tell you that. I love you guys. If you're watching this, I love you. We're going to figure this out. This isn't what I wanted to do at all. The WWE is all I've ever wanted to do and be. But if I have to go somewhere else now to show them that they missed out, I guess that's what I got to do. Thank you, guys.
And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.